Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Factory Town. And I've got a little bit more of a cough this morning. I don't know why. I think I might be a little bit sick, but actually I feel a little bit sick. I just went out for a walk and it was very cold, so yeah, that may have caused me to be a little bit sick. But we're just going to get through it. So this is not a summary episode because, as you can see, I have not done squat. So this is going to be the modular megabase. I just woke up and I was like, I was thinking about playing other games, but I was just like, let's just get it started. So basically what I did, I don't know if I can show you at the moment because I already created the base, but it's like the last one. It's completely flat. Creative mode is on. If we have a look at, yeah, creative mode is on. Haven't turned this on because I don't know if it matters, but we might turn that on actually, because I mean, all we care about is getting the happiness up. So if we overproduce, then that's fine. So I am going to turn that off. Go away. I think that just means that we can throw 1,000,000 basic wood in there and it'll actually sell it all, no matter what. And we never got close to overproducing in the last one anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. And that means we don't have to worry about stuff backing up when it goes into the markets, because it'll all get used up. So as you see, we got creative mode here. There was also an option for starting age, so I got that one done. So if we put down the school, yeah, you can see that every single bit of research is completed. So yeah, starting age I set to magic, so I set to the magic age. So we got all this stuff done. I was a bit worried that even with creative mode we would have to, so we've got no capacity. Okay, so that's fine. So basically, I've got the heater on as well, so hopefully that turns on soon. Basically, it's going to start off with planning. And of course, we can purchase all of these that we want. As you can see, they're completely empty. Come on, autosave. Come on, autosave. No, it's not autosave. It's just the bottom of my screen doesn't want to go down any further because all of these guys are in the way. So let's sort of reiterate what the aim is for this mega base. So it's going to be the same as last time. Infinite research. Look, can we build ourselves an Omni Temple? Because we are going to need ourselves some infinite research. And as you can see, creative mode does have some limits. You can't just click really hard on it and dump them stuff in. You actually have to get it from somewhere. Which we do have 200 in there, but yeah. So yeah, now we got all this infinite research. So we will still need, I don't know if we'll need, I guess we will need an infinite Omni Temple research setup, so that'll be fine. But yeah, it's going to be a modular megabase, so we're going to have to think very carefully how we do this. We'll probably still have the same setup with the markets and the and the farms and the markets and the houses and all that. Because one rail line for each type of good is pretty good, but instead I think we'll have it going out and then we'll end up having a bunch of barns or something like that, and then other places deliver to the barns potentially. We're going to have to really think about it really, really hard, because things like all the wood has to be in one section, all the grain has to be in one section, which I'm still not 100% sure of, but I mean, we can do it. We could put like a crap load of farms in one section and it'll be beautiful, but there are things that will cause us a lot of problems, like logistics. I mean, the logistics of moving these goods around is going to be a nightmare. Because of course the whatchamacallit, the mine carts, you can't just we're gonna have to have loops everywhere, basically. There's gonna be no merging rail system no big rail network, because the slowdown that you get from a cart merging into a line with another cart is something that we just cannot avoid. So it's going to be a straight, it's going to be completely delineated networks. So you're going to have a separate individual rail network for taking one good to this place, and another one for taking one good to this place, and so on and so forth. They're going to be completely separate. So what we're probably going to end up with is a module is going to be like, let's have a look. Like, let's say we have a module for making cloth or something like that. So we're going to have a bunch of these guys. However many we need with Omni Stones, and then we're just going to have a bunch of barns, and then a bunch of barns. They're not lining up, but whatever. And depending on what these need, we'll have to figure out a way to get multiples in there. So we might put this set of barns up here, and those set of barns will be like for something, and then we'll have another set of barns over here, and these goods will be something else. And then we'll somehow feed the belts in, make all these work, and then have rail networks coming out of here. Now this may be a one rail loop going in front of all barns, and for the inputs it may be 2 rail loops, because you've got to remember, even if we've got a flat loop, like let's have a look. Let's actually have a look and see how fast we can do this, because I am still concerned that there is going to be problems with the minecarts. Oh, apparently they did some stuff with the minecarts as well. So when you place them, it's not just an empty square. Oh, and they changed these as well. Start. No, reverse. Stop. Start. And you can't make it go stupidly fast anymore. Actually, we need a small loop, because it's going to take me ages to produce this many minecarts. What I want to see is if I fill it up completely with minecarts, like 100%, will they slow down at all? Okay, you get deleted. I'm going to make this even smaller. Cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love that you can place them down like this. That's beautiful. 4, 5. Okay, let's see. Of course, I got to start them all, don't I? Yeah, this is a problem. That's okay. What we do is... How do we do this? We put a gate. If we put a gate here, yep, then I don't know what the... I really need a key shortcut for this. So you already started. See, that was the good thing about the old system. You put them down on a rail cart and they would automatically just start up. I suppose this one is doing it on purpose, but that's going to be annoying. Although I could place them off the rail cart and then move them onto the rail cart, and that maybe would automate them. So, so this is not 100% full, but it is 99% full. So what happens here? No. No. So a cart waits until there's space in front of it and then moves. If there's not space in front of it, then it doesn't move. Okay, so this is a grid with 20 spaces on it, and we've currently got 19 minecarts. So let's 4, So now we've got 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. No, that's not good either. I think this could work. It's just it's in a weird state where they're all screwed. If they were all perfectly moving... Okay, we're going to try something here. No. So now what we do is we go up. We're going to be very, very tricky about this. 7, 8. Nah, see it screwed up there. The gap, did you see the gap forming between those carts when they took off? It's just not good enough. Like, like this. Let's just do it again. Yeah, look at the gap that forms between these carts. That's just too much. That's just too much. We want the gap to be smaller. How the hell do we do that? Let's do... Oh, these guys are all going to screw up now, aren't they? Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Let's just get rid of all these guys. Yeah, that's going to be very, very difficult, because how do we make them not back up? Alright, so let's do some maths here. So, because we're going to need to transport a lot of goods as easily as possible. So this is 4 goods a second. Sometimes a tiny bit less if it's running full speed. Now, if you put 2 of them next to each other, that's 8 per second. Dump a 2 more on each side. So you got 6 belts total. That's 24 per second. So a minecart is definitely more than well, 2 minecarts are definitely more than that. Okay, let's just accept that. 2 minecarts are definitely more than that. Because a minecart is forward. I don't know how long it's taking them to go around, but feels like about 2 seconds. So, but that's fine. We could easily fit more carts on there. So, a minecart. How many minecarts can we go around a track in a second? I'm going to say about 3 or 4, without crashing into each other. Is the problem. We need a system to sort of space them out. Well, we know how to do that already. We know how a system to space them out. We just need to make it very, very small. Let's do this system again. Let's see if we can set it to like half a second. Because the problem is they get too close to each other and then everything falls apart. So, wonder what happens if we do this. So that's set to a second. No, it's set to half a second. Okay, half a second is way too much. 0.2. No, 0.2. So if we let's do that, and then let's do this. And let's start this guy up. Okay. So we want this system to be running perfectly with as few, with as many carts as possible. Which means they got to be spaced out. A little bit, I think. I think a little bit. Okay, so we got 5. We need a track that takes exactly 1 second to get around so I can measure the throughput speed of minecarts. Anyway, I'm gonna... Actually, I'll time it. I'll time it and see how long this track takes. Then we can do some math. But I'm pretty sure, with a 2-lane rail network in a loop, it's going to be way better than 6 magic conveyor belts. I mean, that's just a fact at this point. So, let's... So I start, and then I stop. So there's this... This is going to be very quick. Okay. Start... Stop. 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds exactly for these guys to go around. So right now we've got 100 every 2.5 seconds, which is... what's 100 do? It's 40. 40 items per second, which is 10 of these belts. So already we're doing amazing things. Let's put 2 more. I want to see. Okay. So I like this spacer thing. Come on, come on. Is it gonna fix itself up? No. It's almost. No, it's not. Okay, let's try and analyze this. What is going wrong here? Because there's times where they also seem... Let's, you know what? Let's delete these. Okay, so that's fine. So any timer at all is not a good thing. Okay. Okay. So what we really need is a ratio. We need to say for this many train tracks, this many rail tracks, this is as many carts as can fit on without crashing. And I'm sure I believe eventually after they crash a bunch, they will fix up themselves. I don't know exactly. They might just keep crashing. The problem is after they stop, the delay is so bad that and I don't know what there is to do about that. I really don't. I really don't. How do we solve this problem? Okay, let's delete that minecart. Okay, so the system instantly solves itself. Instantly. So let's move this guy. Now I just jumped him in. So now we've got 8. So it is possible to have 8. When you've got 7 and there's a problem, the problem will self-correct. When you've got 8 and there's a problem, so if we move this guy here, for example, then the problem self-corrected there as well. We definitely had a problem with 8 carts though. Let me see if I can reproduce it. There we go. So with 8 on 20 tracks, there's not enough time for a problem to self-correct. But with 7 on 20 tracks, then there is enough time. This is 20, yeah. So 8 over 20, so that's like, what is that? 30%, something like that. 40%. Okay, so let's get rid of all these. So it's 20. Let's cut this down a bit to let's go for a 10 track. 10 tracks. Okay. So, according to our logic, 3 carts should work fine on here, and 4 carts could potentially run into a problem, but might be okay. Seems to depend entirely on how you shove them in there. Okay. 4 carts seems to be okay. Now, according to the logic here, if we do this... No, they seem to be okay. Interesting. Yeah, 5 is definitely 5 is definitely death. Do they recover now with 4? Yes, they do. So maybe there's not a complete. Let's see if I can slip this in. Oh no, there was a delay. There was a delay. It was beautiful. It was looking beautiful, but there was a delay before it started. And now that's never going to fix it. So, looks like it's 40%. That's how many minecarts we can fit onto a rail network, is 40%. Hopefully that's enough throughput, because if you think about it, what we could do is we could put a 2-lane rail network from each barn going down. So that means that... Go away. Are you going to fix yourself up? Yes, you are. Excellent. So, yeah. So, okay, what have we discovered here? First of all, we've discovered what we already knew, that minecarts and magic rails are the way to transport goods. They can definitely do way better than anything else. And yeah, definitely do way better than anything else. And secondly, that you cannot just fill up a rail network full of carts and expect it to still go smoothly. Technically it could, but it's not going to. So, although, let's do an experiment. I have a feeling we could. Okay, so let's go. Although I think we tried this before, didn't we? We tried this before, so they're not going to start all at the same time. Or what we could do, this is a genius idea. This is an absolute genius idea. The problem is they start very slowly. So what we're going to do, up, up, up. Now this is obviously not feasible in the real world to do this, but could potentially be how you do it. So X minecarts 4. Now I believe there won't be any merging problems. So we unpause, they all stay still. We pause, we send them all running, and this should be a perfect system. How you implement a perfect system. Theoretically. Now, in real life, no. That was a perfect system though, you saw it. Oh, look at that. Somehow that worked. Somehow that worked. Okay. I don't know why it's working now. I don't know why these mine carts are going even though there's no space in front of them, but yeah, look at that. We got 9 carts on a 10 rail line. So that's an incredible amount of throughput. And if we remember correctly, magic rails are, what was it? Double, I think magic rail is like 8. Well, we know that it took 2.5 seconds for them to get around 20 rails. So we divide 20 by 2.5. 8. I think it's 8. Yeah, so the kite goes at 8 per second. Which means if we got 8 carts going by every second, then we got 160 items per second. If we fill up the damn carts. If we don't, if we go for like 30-40%, then so it was 30-40% then. 30-40% of shit. My brain has gone dead. My brain has gone dead here. I don't know. So 1 every 8 seconds is 8 per second, which is 160. So 30 to 40% of 160, you're looking at about 50-ish items per second, which is so many belts I can't even think of. It's like 13 belts. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. We're each rail network with about, let's say 30%. 30% of carts, just to make it safe. So 30% times 160 is 48. Did you like how quickly I did that math? I am a frickin' genius, I swear to God. It's 48. So 48 items per second is what we can get at a rail with 30% of the rails filled with carts. And we could probably push that. We could definitely push it up to 90 if we fluke it, but what happens when you stop and you start and suddenly it's dead? So that was a fluke. Oh no, did it almost go? It almost went. So now we're down to 8, still screwy. Now we're down to 7, a little bit better but still screwy. Now we're down to 6, sort of okay but still screwy. Down to 5, still screwy. Down to 4. 4 is still screwy. It's all about the spacing, I guess. 3 should definitely, yeah, 3 fixes it up. So yeah, 30 is 30%. It doesn't matter how long the rail line is, as long as it's 30% full, you have a constant throughput of 48 items per second. So that's some math for you. 48 items per second. Okay. And that should be enough for this Megabase sort of stuff. Now we just have to figure out the logistics. Now remember, it doesn't matter how long the rail line is, it can still maintain 48 items per second. And the only thing we'd have to worry about with bigger rail lines is more mine carts and thus possibility of a base dying quicker. So yeah, it is going to be a bit painful. So what we have to do is I almost have to have some sort of graph to determine what needs to be where. So what's the requirements of each good is and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think we're going to have like half of the map, like just one half is just going to be grain. Not physically filled it, but like say we put just like massive grain over here, and then on one side we have leather, and on the other side we have animal feed, and then we've got all of the things that need animal feed on one side, and then all the things that need leather on the other side. We've got to split it up big around the big goods, because we're going to need a lot of transport of grain and feed and leather and all that sort of crap. And if there's going to be crossovers on these rails, above ground crap, then I do not want to have to send grain or leather above ground, because that stuff we're going to need a ton of it. I'd prefer to do other ones. And maybe we'll have grain on one side, and then on the other side is all the metal on the opposite side, because I don't think there's too much overlap between leather and metal off the top of my head. Well, let's have a look at all the recipes and see if there's going to be any problematic ones with that approach. See, this one's fine. This one's fine. So if we put leather on one, if we put grain on one side, metal on the other, and then wood is one of those things that kind of goes across both, so it can be on the side, and then on the other side will be food, I guess, some sort of food stuff. So this is okay. So this we can all do on one side. Yeah, I think most of this is fairly okay. Fairly okay. I mean, cloth doesn't worry me at all. This stuff. This will all be food related, probably close to food related. Although cloth is interesting. Although it comes together with food related stuff very, very rarely, like this ointment. So, and cheese as well. So maybe cloth can be over near wood, which is probably going to be the opposite side of food, which means I sort of have to go through in the middle, but maybe that's okay. So let's sort of plan it out here. So let's do a little tiny plan and see how it goes. So this is grain, we'll just leave that like that. This is going to be so this is going to be cotton over here. Yeah. Actually, let's not put a farm. Let's just put down some farm tiles. Great. Plant cotton. Grain. Okay, and then we've got mining over here. Forester. We don't need a lot of wood, so I'll probably put that over in the corner and see how we go. So anyway, workshop. Let's have a look. So we need a workshop. We need a kitchen. We need a magic forge. We need a metal machine shop, sorry. And then we need a enchanter. So I want to see if there's any problems with these sort of goods being in these sort of setups. So workshop we've already done. Let's just double check it. So cloth, wood, so that can be in the north section somewhere. Book can be in the north. Oh, that's right. We were going to do. So leather is around here. How do we mark leather? I don't know how we mark leather. Pasture, I guess. So you are leather. Maybe up like this sort of stuff, a little bit lower, but near the grain, I guess. So we can do stuff like this. The cloth, so that one's fine. Cloth and leather tend to cross over, so that might be a pain because they're on opposite sides. Do we need the cloth to be over the left-hand side? Can we just put the cloth over here? That's an interesting question. Bandages. Yeah, you know what? I think it can. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, no. Oh, I have got that tools set up yet. Destroy block. No. Oh, remove resource. Shift X. Delete. And then farm tile. Cotton. Oh, that's not even planting it. Whatever. That's fine. So that makes that stuff a little bit better. This is going to be food, I guess. All the food goes over there. So shoes, that's not too far away. Bandages. This is going to be a pain because ointment requires a bit of food, so there's going to be a crossover here, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Herbs, I don't know. Herbs can go either side. There's going to be some crossover no matter what we do with herbs. Kitchen. Now, I don't think we're going to have, like, for example, fuel, magma. I'm not sure if we're going to have a centralized place for magma. That would be a nightmare. We might have to make an exception for that, but I will try to make that centralized. Maybe we can make that an above ground rail line that just runs across the whole base. That would be nuts, but I'm going to try wherever I can to make it work. And I mean, we know from the last Megabase that we've got enough workers, so we can also use wood for fire if wood is close, like for all the forges for the mines. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. So what do we got here? So remedy can probably be over here. Maybe we'll do herbs over here. I've not decided on herbs yet, but all of the food, this stuff. So animal feed will go out the left-hand side, and all of the pastures for beef and chicken will all be down the bottom left corner. So down here, I guess, raw chicken and stuff like that. Wool might be over here because that makes sense to be next to cotton. Fishing obviously will be over there. Remedies are herbs. Herbs are going to be a pain in the ass, but everything else, most of the stuff, will be over on the left hand side. So that's fun. So if we'll put a technically a grain mill is animal feed as well, but we'll make it flour over there, and that can represent our food stuff. So magic forge, we don't actually need any of this for the market, so I'm not sure I really give a shit. They can go anywhere. Machine shop, again, don't need any of it. Enchanter. So these are that should be okay. We'll make all those close to each other. The power setups, I'm definitely going to have those wherever I want. I'm not going to say, oh, you need a centralized place to recharge blue and then send it all out. That's going to be a nightmare, so we're not going to do that. We can have localized power setups wherever we need. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, what are we doing? Magic cloaks. That's not too bad. Leather is going to be close to wool, so that should be fine. Oh, that should be fine. All of these should be fine. The books should be fine. Okay, so I think we've got a layout here that will work. So big bunch of grain here down in the south end probably, and that goes off in two directions. It goes off to the east to feed into a bunch of pastures for leather, and it goes off into the west to feed in a bunch of pastures for all the meat, and also into grain mills. And then over here we got a bunch of other farms for all the other fruit, vegetables, all the other things we need. And this will be all of the food section over here. Then in the north we've got the mines. There's no real connection between these two guys. And then we got lumber over at a corner here, and cloth over on the right hand side. And we also got to get herbs. So there will be some crossover. Unavoidable crossover. Unfortunately, these blue goods are going to be the main pain in the ass. Like herbs, herbs are just annoying. I mean, they are mainly used for blue goods. And I mean, this just need herbs. Ooh, excuse me. So let's have a look at all of these things. Antidotes and health potions. So health potions are in here. So yeah, that's fruit juice, which says left-hand side. Okay, so far this is a left-hand side good. Fruit juice, remedy, if we put herbs over there, that's fine. And then antidote, which is kitchen, I think. Antidote is remedy and fish oil. Okay, which is all left-hand goods. Ointment, left hand, if we put the herbs over there. Left hand, left hand. Okay, so it looks like herbs are going on the left-hand side. I'm sure there's some exceptions to that rule. I'm sure there are. Maybe in here. Yeah, see this poultice is the exception. So that needs cloth. And then the cloth turns into a bandage. And then the bandage gets mixed with herbs, which gets mixed with this stuff. So this is going to be crazy because we could send... So we're going to be making ointments in the kitchen over on the left-hand side because they just require fish oil and herbs. So the left-hand side makes them easy. And they're going to be needed for other things on the left-hand side, I believe, like, needed for antidotes. So antidotes, health potions, this can be made on the left-hand side. Elixir needs both of them. So the antidote has to be made on the left-hand side. If we make it on the right-hand side, then we'd have to shift it back. So that means that is going to be made on the left-hand side. Well, I'm in the kitchen. So cloth needs to be shipped over from the right-hand side to the left-hand side for the bandages, which can be made over the left-hand side. That's fine. And also for the medical wraps, which can also be made over on the left-hand side. We could also chicken out and just not make medical wraps, just make bandages instead, because I think they're on the same tier of the market, but we're not going to chicken out. We're going to do the full thing. Apothecary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we could, but we're not going to. We're going to make the medical wraps. So that's one example. So cloth is going to have to travel over to the other side, and it's going to have to travel over for two purposes: for the actual wrap and for the bandages. Whew. I mean, we could make the bandages on the right-hand side and then send the bandages over. But I mean, what's the point? We don't use bandages anywhere else. We don't need them anywhere else. So we might as well... It's a one-to-one as well, so we're not losing anything on the throughput of the rail system. So we might as well just send cloth over. And maybe we can finagle it so that rail line, which will probably be above ground, can hit the bandage module and the medical wrap module. Because maybe that'll be enough. I mean, if we've got enough cloth coming over, maybe that'll be enough. So, anyway, I'm going to plant some herbs. Oh, there's herbs. So let's put herbs over there. Okay. So there we go. There's our plan. So, and we really can't move cloth over to the left-hand side. We just can't. There's so much that needs it over the right-hand side, like the cloth conveyor belts, the cloak. Actually, cloth conveyor belts aren't a good that we need. So the cloak and the shirt, which we probably want to be in the same area because they get delivered to the same thing. And that's in the workshop. In the kitchen, it's used for cheese. Do we need to rethink this? Okay, that helps, because if it's over the right-hand side, yeah, so it needs to be close to the leather for this, it needs to be close to the wool for this, and the leather and wool are going to be down the bottom right. So that's two things, two reasons to have it over on the right-hand side. Cloth, and then what else was there? Ignore those two, I think. And then cloth. What else? Cloth. Cheese. So that's a point for the left-hand side. Cloth is one of those things that's just so split. So 2 points to the right, 1 point to the left. Another 2 points for the right. And then another 2 points to the left. So we got... Oh, we got 4 points on the right and 3 points on the left. That is stupid. Well, technically, I'm not sure if cloaks count because... But yeah, I mean... The vast majority of these guys... You know what? I'm gonna save this as... Mega Module. Okay, save. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at super flat. And we're going to see what the breakdown of cloth usage is. For these different goods. What the breakdown is, and also how much of it we're using for in each separate section, because I like these videos. These videos are, oh, look at that. That's the old Megabase. Look how pretty it is. Okay, so we go up here. So we got 4 belts coming out there. We got 6 belts coming out here for shirts. Remember, we can't just say, oh, we need it. We need to know how much we need as well. So this is, so far this is 10 belts. 10 belts that got knocked up for the right. Let's say it's 10 belts for the right. And this stuff is also going to be on the right, which, ignore that. What do we got? So that's another 4, so that's 14 belts. I assume this is Magic Thar. And 16, because that one's fine. Is that crashing? Is that actually crashing? What are you running at? You're running out of cloth. Okay, so let's say that's 18 instead of 16 because that one's currently crashing. So there's 18 on the right. So let's go have a look on the left, which is going to be blue and gold goods. Ignore that. That's a thing. Okay. Herbs, cloth. So 18 on the right. So we've got 3 on the left. Yeah, this is really not a lot needed, I guess. But there's still 3 on the left. Any cloth here? I mean, this is... Oh, this is ointment. And this is ointment and medical wraps? Oh, this is for those two, yeah. So, 3 on the left. I don't think there's any more. And then we go over to food, which is mainly cheese. I think it's mainly cheese. If we go over here. So this is overwhelmingly on the right then. Overwhelmingly. What do we got here? There's no cheese here. This is all cakes. Cakes might be falling down as well. Yeah, see another 3 here for cheesecloth. Yeah, we barely need any of that. So overwhelmingly right. Overwhelmingly, the right side needs 3 times as much, basically. 3 times as much cloth as the left-hand side. So, yeah. And considering, what was the ratio of this? 2 down to 1. So, 6 belts go down to 2 belts of this. 2 belts of this. So we could easily have just like a single network going over, because we only need 2 blue belts, which is 8 items a second, which a rail network can easily handle, very easily handle. Like, that's like a single minecart almost going around and around. Well, if it's a small rail network. So anyway, so herbs are over here, cloth is over here. Done. Okay, so this is our plan right here. This is exactly what we're going to do with this modular megabase. Everything is going to be made at the same point, at the same time. And look, magma, I'm gonna have to think about. I really am gonna have to think about. But I think we'll try. We will try to get that. Try to get a network going, because that's really going to add a challenge. This is looking easier than I thought it was going to be with the way these goods come out, because there's some of them that are split across, but most of them aren't. Now we're going to have a mess over here with the food. We're going to have a mess over here with the ore. So there's going to be messes in each of these individual sections, but the overall map is laying out pretty nicely. So that's definitely what I like to see. So yeah, I think we will try. We will try and have magma go around. What we might have is one big rail network that just goes around everywhere, or something like that. I really don't know. I really do not know. But we got to plan this out. We got to go out. We got to figure out how much space we're going to apply. I'm just going to keep pushing out here. I mean, like I said, I don't think we can really have a problem with grabbing too much space, with going out too far. I don't think that's ever going to be a problem. I hate it how that doesn't allow me to scroll down anymore when you get down to the point of this. So anyway, let's just keep buying these. Can I do it without stopping the thing? I can do it. Oh, I missed that one. It's easier when you're going left and right because the button's bigger. Okay. Alright, so this is all very, very exciting. Is that square? No, it's not square. Now it's square. So that's a lot of space. There's probably going to be bigger than that, like even bigger than that. This amount of space is probably as big as the other base is, but I really want to make sure we never run out of space ever for what we need. So I'm going to finish this episode off. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do some sort of Excel spreadsheet to figure out exactly how many farms, how many foresters, how many mines, how many this, how many that we need, and approximately how many Omni Stones we had in each one. And then what we're probably going to do is we're going to get an infinite research. I guess infinite, I don't know about infinite research, how we're going to do that. Do we want that to be because we know exactly what sort of research we need. We know how much research we need. So, and we're kind of in cheat mode here. So do we just want to knock up setups for the infinite research? Because the thing is, the Megabase is going to be, it's like build it once, build it right. So that means that we have to build the entire thing, build it up, build it right, and then we can start to do infinite research, which I'm not sure I like, because it means that all of the calculations are going to be off until we get the infinite research. We can only get the infinite research once we do the entire base and get everything pulled in. So it kind of feels like maybe I just want to hack the infinite research. But then again, if we hack it, we're not going to have the throughput. I don't know. I do not know. Look, maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, if we go here, look, it's all free. It's all free. We could put these up to 10 times. And that's 400%, which is going to be the not quite the speed that we're going to get once we start getting the infinite research upgrade, but it's nice. It's not bad, and that was completely free. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can start to build the actual base, sort of. Get the buildings out there that we need. Get the amount of farms that we need. Get the amount of everything else that we need. Get the framework set up. And if the rail networks are long enough, then we can just add more minecarts in the future. But when it starts off, there'll just be a few minecarts because we won't be producing enough to really make it worth it. But get the layout done anyway. I think that's probably good. And then we can go up to 10, like, max Omni Stone upgrades everywhere and just say boom, done. Okay, so I think that's a good plan. I think we're going to finish the video off now, and when I come back we'll have at least one module done. I might start with grain. I might No, well, I need to get the calculations done. But then I'll come back and I'll do something. I'm not sure if we're going to go from the middle out or from the outside. I think the middle out. I think we really need to figure out, first of all, get the village done. Get the rail lines going into it. Get a nice space around that. And then maybe work on the barn setup for feeding in the goods, because I think that's going to be paying. So there's almost going to be like a middle base. Go back to Factory Town. So almost going to be like a middle base, like this big square. I'm not sure how big the square will be, but there will be a big square around it. And like the edges of the square will just be barns. And inside that square will be all of the delivery mechanisms to get those goods to the market and also to fill up the Omnistone. So yeah, I think that's what we kind of want to do, is just have a central square as big as I want, as big as it needs to be, and it's just got barns on the outside. It's got a barn for every good, pretty much. And that'll be another challenge as well, because figuring out what order those barns need to be in is going to be very nasty. You're going to need to figure out exactly, this barn should be there, and this barn should be there, and so forward. But we got 50 goods, so we're going to need 50 barns. Maybe more, actually, because, I mean, the Omnistone goods, all of that stuff, that's not exempt from the module rule. Okay, they still need to be moduled. So, alright, maybe we need to look at this stuff as well. Because, yeah, so this metal conveyor belt we need. So that's just iron and cloth. And because I kind of ignored this as well, didn't I? But that's fine. So the cloth is over here. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So we definitely need to take into account all of the Omnistone temple goods as well. Let's have a look at this. Mana crystals, they'll come from the mining section. Stone. Crystals, I'll do those up in the mining section as well. Magic conveyor belts. So these are all fine. Elixirs will be over on the left-hand side. But we can kind of feed them in. That's fine. No, this was the one I was just looking at. We already did that. And then we go down here. I don't think there's anything that really needs to be here. It's already market goods, so yeah, I think we're still okay. Almost drooled there. Bloody oath. Okay, so I think we're still going to be okay. I think our plan still works even for the Omni Temple goods that we're going to need. So yeah, that's it. This is the plan. The plan is the plan. And look at this. Just imagine how much bigger it's going to be when it's finally finished. All this modular stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.